Hello, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, and for the next couple of hours I'm going to be sat here painting my miniatures. Well, maybe not so miniature, obviously, but I'll be sat here painting nonetheless, hopefully with your company, motivation and inspiration. Hopefully you get that from me as well. If not, deeply sorry. If you are going to be working on something this evening, please do come and tell me all about it. You can join these guys over here in the live chat. That would be great. You can leave comments on the video later on if you're watching it retrospectively. You can come and join me on Facebook. You can watch me on Instagram. You can see me over at Discord at the Easy 8 After Party, and there are loads of links to all of our platforms just down there in the description of this video. I feel like I've been caught unaware, but I'm actually quite prepared this evening. Normally, I don't feel so on edge. Like, it feels like the first time I've been doing this for a while. But I hope you've all been well since last week. I am getting very, very close to finishing my miniature this week. I keep calling it a miniature, but it is enormous. But it's actually going to be, hopefully, the last time I do anything on this project. It's quite unusual for me to finish a project on air, and there is a part that isn't going to be finished this evening, but the project is completely finished by the end of today's show. Yeah, if you are working on something, do come and tell me all about it. I'm genuinely inspired by all the stuff that you do, and if you like what we do here at Easy 8, please do consider subscribing to the show. You are the community. It grows when you grow. Not grow up, but when we grow out. That sounds really rude, but go and share Easy 8's name. Go and tell some people at work, maybe you're at school or college or something like that. Just go out and wear a t-shirt with Easy 8 written on it. You have my permission. Bring some people in. You never know, someone just sits across at work from you might be might really benefit from a show like this. I recently found someone at work who was really into this. Never even knew it. So welcome to the show, dude. I hope you enjoy whatever it is that we're going to be getting up to tonight, because clearly it's not scripted. You might have just worked that out. It's not a tutorial show or anything like that at all. It's merely a place where you can come along, make some friends, have a chit chat about the stuff that we all love and enjoy together, and other stuff too, because sometimes the live chat gets a little bit weird. Sorry, it's not me. It's all them. Talking of the live chat, who have we got in there this evening? We've got Shiv from Table of Horrors. Hi Shiv, thanks for coming along, pal. I noticed that you were in the live chat about 15 to 20 minutes early. That is dedication and loyalty. Thank you so much. You can have an Easy 8 point. I've just created those. You can have one. Save them up. By the end of the year, you could buy a boat. Kez, hi Kez. We've got Jeff, my dad. Hi dad. We've got Adrian. Hi Adrian. We've got Crumbs Studios. Hello mate. We've got Staff. Hello. And that's all we've got at the moment. Hi guys, thanks for coming along. I hope you've had a lovely week. I hope you're going to have a lovely evening. Do let me know what it is that you're working on, because I definitely want to know about it, please. Especially if you are going to finish a project this evening. I've been working on for the last... It only feels like a couple of weeks, but it's probably been a lot longer. It's probably been several months now. I've been working on this action figure from Macfarlane, the Space Marine. I'm getting ready to complete him. So let's just go straight over to my workbench and we'll have a little look over there, shall we? 50 Easy 8 points gets you a branded toaster. Okay, you sort me out with the branded toasters and distribute them, and I'll give out the points. Cheers, pal. Why toaster? Is that a flamer or a heavy flamer? More battle tech, says Kez. Excellent. Yes, let me know what it is that you are working on. Daddy! How goes it? It's almost like you haven't seen me for months. I'm here every week, pal, but I hope you're okay, mate. Adrian says, I've sent you a YouTube video, Kez, that might help with your brush problem. Has Kez got brush problems? I need to go back and have a little look. Brush cleaner and repair gel. Oh my gosh, not bad. Having issues with my brushes though. I cannot seem to get them to keep their point at the moment. Right. Have you got this stuff? This is very good for cleaning. Are you using artificial brushes or synthetic brushes? I mean, I don't think there's really such thing as an artificial brush. That sounds like not a brush. That sounds like a broom. Don't use household things to paint your miniatures with. Are you using synthetic bristles, or are you using sable bristles? Because they will last longer. They are much easier to maintain. They're a little bit more pricey. Spend money on your brushes. You won't regret it. Just got to look after them a little bit. So yeah. Anyway, here's my Dark Angel Space Marine. I've got a few things left to do on him. Finishing the bolter is one thing. I reckon I can get that done tonight, hopefully. Certainly over the long weekend that I've got myself. I've had today off. It's been lovely, thank you. I've got to get a number on his shoulder. I spoke to Adrian last week's show. He said he's got a decal that'll probably fit that, and then I've been busy and didn't follow that up. I'm so sorry, Adrian, but thank you for the offer. Perhaps we'll be in touch straight after this. Maybe I can draw one on there or paint one on there. I'm so happy with the way that arrow came out. It is a little bit wonky, but do you know what? His shoulder pad's a little bit wonky because of the way it's moulded. I don't think that I'm going to be able to paint a number on there and make it look as good as it needs to. I'll end up ruining the whole thing. You never know, I might feel spicy towards the end of the show. I might give it a go and ruin everything. I still got to neaten up these joints. That's a 10-minute job. That is, get some black paint in there, maybe a bit of dark green on them. It's just the elbows, nowhere else needs it. Just the elbows where I bent his arms into the right position, sprayed them all up, and then I just got lazy and it's left these big gaps basically. So to the bolter, or the bolt rifle they call them nowadays, because product change. Same stuff, different day. I did all the red work on him the other week, and neatened up all the silver. I've still got a little bit of silver tidying to do today. So if I point with this brush here, which does keep a point, a little bit of silver work in here. I'm gonna do in there silver, because even though that should be like, in my head, that should be like a dark hole, I suppose. It's going to be metal, isn't it? Because unless this thing here is pulled back, it's going to be metal. Yeah, pulling that back would open up the interior of the gun to eject the shell, etc. I've done all the tidying up around here already. There's a little bit that needs doing in there, because trying to get in around these little objects is quite difficult. And a little bit under there. I had shaky hands last week. I just wasn't ready for it at all. Just wasn't in the right frame of mind for it. And then on the barrel here, in there and around whatever this lug is supposed to be. Maybe it's a camera, maybe it's a place where he keeps his pen. I don't know. So there's some silver work on there to do. I'm going to tidy up the gold. I just put basically a top layer on that. Still got to do the edges on there, as you can see. And then of course the purity seal, which will be front and center really on this miniature. So I've got to try and do a really good job on that. I will do like a basilicanum grey wash over the whole thing. I'll try and keep it quite sparse on the red, I think, but on the silver it will look really good. I did a very dark grey on the handle. I think that looks really, really smart. Yeah. Cut this out of it, do the inside of the barrel, and I think we're on to a winner. I think that's where we're going to be at. I only got 2 hours. I think I'm going to finish it all today. If not, it definitely will be done over the next couple of days. This will be the last week I'm working on this project, moving on to other things, which is great, right? So that's where we are. A quick catch up with some more comments. We've got Christulus has joined us. Hi Christulus, how are you doing, pal? Stafford says for 500 easy 8 points you can get your own branded Wazomatic. With the Wazomatics already. Shiv says I finished my sergeant staff with a multi-melter. Photos please, or it never happened. Let's see that please. Given my cases, like Steve is lurking. Is Steve lurking? I don't know what you're talking about there. Sorry, mate. Christina says it's that time again. All hope your hobbying has been well. It has been. It always feels slow, like I'm not making an awful lot of progress. But I'm really, really happy with this guy. I really like it. Even just the simple green on it. Really happy with it. I remember when it was just a solid grey thing. Didn't look very cool, but I'm super happy with it. And I'm really happy with the OSL, which is what I was really looking forward to on this project. I can be better at it, and I think it'll look better on a smaller model, but yes, it's going well, mate. Thanks for asking. Mike says, if I had feelings they'd be hurt, why would they be hurt? I don't know where we are. Yo. Hi, Mike. Thanks for coming along. Are you hurt because I missed you out a minute ago, or because someone's saying stuff about you and I'm not aware of it? See, the live chat gets so chatty now, I can't see what everyone's talking about all the time. Jeff says Normandy. I'm still working on shoving Normandy. Yikes. Steve's starting a new job. No, sorry, Crumbs is starting a new job. We're talking about Steve. I can't see Steve. Christina says, Danny, that arm display is fire. Thank you so much. When you look at it really closely, it looks really rubbish. But the point is, it's supposed to be viewed from a couple of feet away, right? I like it. It's my little homage to Aliens. I love Aliens. It's wonderful. Mike is saying you said hi to everybody but me. I'm so sorry, mate. You got a grey icon that just blended the way into the background. What can I say? I'm really sorry, man. But I hope you're well. Tell me if you are working on something today, please, Mike. The leather as well. You like the leather? I like the leather. That is just lucky it came out that way. It's yeah, it wasn't going to, and I saved it, and then it looked really good, and it was completely by accident. Anyway, on with some silver. Let's get some silver work done. Chainmail from Vallejo Gamer. I like to add a little bit of retarded medium to it because it does like to dry out quite quickly, especially when it's getting a bit warm here in the studio. I don't fit my shirt anymore because I'm a fat boy. What can you do? So I'll keep that open now to keep me a bit cooler. I've lost weight, but it's been a while since we started this show, and I've had this shirt all the way since the beginning of Easy 8's journey, and I'm not tiny anymore. So yeah, right, here we go. I've got a little bit of flow improver and paint retarder in this paint. I just like to make it a little more malleable, add a touch of water in there. Did we establish whether Kez is using synthetic brushes or sable brushes? I don't know. Nope, doesn't look like we've got a response on that one yet. Pay attention to me. No, honestly, if you've got synthetic brushes, whilst good maintenance will make them last longer, they don't last forever. Sable brushes, while they are more expensive and they do take a little bit more maintaining, are absolutely worth that extra chore. So do consider it, man. Got my tiny little brush out here. Always wet it down with a little bit of water. And I'm just going to start kneading up all around that silver there. So I'm going to start, let's just get this bit done over here because that's a little bit tight in there. One of the many problems I've got when painting things, when I start getting to the end of a project, I get very excited about it on the show. Trying to paint on camera, it is a very different beast than just learning how to paint or just trying to paint. And I always end up with like an extra level of pressure to see if I can get the whole project done on the show. And sometimes it's just not possible, right? It's really difficult. That was a particularly difficult bit to do. I don't want to get any of this new silver on that red. I probably have a little bit. It was kind of inevitable. I need to patch it up in a second. But trying to get a really narrow set of bristles in there is really quite difficult. And it really stands out. You can tell the difference on here. That little groove in there compared to on this side. It stands out quite a bit, doesn't it? Just wipe a bit of paint off the side of the bristles because it beads up, and then if it beads up when I push it into this little gap, it would rub off on the sides of the red. And yeah, just gotta make sure that I don't have too much paint on this brush when I'm going in there. Now, oop, butterfingers. Just on the underside in here, you can see that silver has just crept up onto the edge of this red line here. See that? That needs to be neatened up. You probably will never see it, but that's not the point. Improve as a painter. As I like to say at work, when you're trying to self-improve, just do better. Okay, so that's that little bit done in there. I think it's probably as good as I'm going to get around all that. It's very difficult to do. Maybe there's a little bit more I could do in there, perhaps. I'm just very aware that if I keep on having to go back over, do the red, and then redo the silver, then redo the red, then I'm just going to be doing this, constantly dancing around the same little bit over and over and over again. So I've just got to make sure that I've got steady hands and I can just go straight in and do it in one go. Done. Happy with that. Right. Into this bit in here. This is a particularly tricky bit. Even though it's quite wide, it's very easy to get this thin brush in there. It's quite deep. Little recess. And it's really hard to make sure that I'm not getting on the red edges. Having the trouble with both types, says Kez. Huh. Splaying ends, curling ends? Makes me wonder what you're doing to the brushes. And I mean that in a kind way that makes it sound like I was suggesting awful things. But, like your painting style, perhaps? Not that I'm here to comment on your painting ability, far be it for me to tell you how to paint, but just, yeah, maybe your brushes are just kind of being traumatized a little bit. Again, that makes it sound like a personal attack. That's not what I meant. But for example, if you were like kind of stabbing in all the time because you were trying to like get paint into little recesses, or just that's the way you painted, obviously you're going to cause you know, damage to the bristles. Have you got any paint drying at the base of your ferrule? Things like that will make your bristles splay. How frequently are you cleaning your brush whilst doing a paint job? Because frankly, you should be cleaning the brush out like every couple of minutes. And depending on the sort of things that you're using, maybe even more. Also, what things are you using in your bristles? If you can get some quite aggressive chemicals, that might have that effect. Are you chewing your brushes? Are you using your brushes to clean your teeth with? Please don't do that. Stafford says that he is more Germans, some Americans, and some desert rats. I assume that's what you're painting. There's so much conversation going on in here now. I just can't keep up with the live chat anymore. It's great that you guys are also chatting and making such good friends. I think there's someone subcontracting someone in there. That's cool. Outsourcing your work. Welcome to Easy 8 outsourcing your painting club. If you are painting Germans, Americans, and desert rats, please photo Stafford. That'd be great. Adrian says, so I'll designate those new 2025 projects 14, 15, and 16. I believe Adrian has completed more projects. He is onto some stuff lately. Good man, Adrian. I definitely have to do a bit of a clean up here. I can see some silver starting to creep out in some places where it absolutely shouldn't be. I think that little bolt and ejection point all looks pretty good, doesn't it? What does everybody think about that? I think it looks pretty cool. It's on the backside bit of it, so it'll be against his chest mostly, so you'll never really see that bit. This is the one I really need to get right in here, so I'm going to try and get it right now. God, I am warm in the studio today. It's not even really been that warm today. It's not been cold for sure, but I am feeling quite unpleasant temperature. It's another ejection port done rather well. Happy with that. Kez says, it started when painting the mechs for the faction you asked for, Dan. I am blaming you. Blame me all you want, mate. I haven't touched your brushes. Yeah. Taking that point away from you, if I ever gave you one. Been using the same brush for ages. Weird. Okay. Yep, I like that ejection port and bolt as well. That's all very cool. Right, so now where this sight slots into the top of the body up there, but I shall take my own advice and wash my own brush out. So here we go. Keir says, is Raphael Klinsky same brushes that I use then? That's really peculiar. Do you know what? I'm going to go to my brush cleaning regimen. So just while I'm cleaning this brush out, even though I'm pretty happy with how I clean it out, I can see a little bit of silver build up just in the bottom of the ferrule in there. Probably really difficult to see on the camera. Dip it in some water just so I've got a little bead of water just kind of running around on the end, and I'm going to drop that just into the edge of my cleaning stuff. This is the Brush Masters, was it the Masters Brush Cleaner and Preserver? And I literally, just on a small brush like this, I just literally pick a little corner in the soap in there. Use that water to sort of agitate it. You'll see it starting to clump up here. And then just in the palm of my hand, it can get quite sticky, this stuff. Just create a lather. Maybe I'll have a bit more. And I'm using my hand here because it's softer than the hard desk, even though I've got that cutting mat on there. And just trying to work that soap up into the ferrule. If I had a larger brush, I'd probably be more inclined to do it on the desk on there, but this tiny little brush needs a little bit of TLC really. And add a bit of water, agitate it, get it flowing around a little bit on the inside of the bristles. You can see that when I'm pressing it there, that it all wants to kind of come to the surface. By diluting it down, it's going to run much more freer inside the brush, right, inside all the bristles. So if you've got bristles splaying, so they're kind of starting to sort of creep out, it's probably because of damage in there, inside the ferrule, and that is caused by paint drying inside and just building up, snowball effect essentially, and just pushing the bristles outwards. What I could do is I'm going to give a pair of tweezers, just ever so gently, just give it a bit of a squeeze at the base. I'm being quite gentle there. And I can see there's a little bit of gunk that came out on that. Now just liberal cleaning, liberal drying. And when I dry the whole brush down, I can see that it's got quite a shape to it, hasn't it? And now I would get some clean soap. Just in the palm of my hand like that, using the creases in my hand, spinning the brush and drawing backwards, it creates a nice fine point, and I can leave that substance in the brush overnight, probably until next week, and it just helps condition the brush and it helps maintain it, much in the same way that repair gel does. I've got the repair gel here as well. That repair gel is what they use often in packaging for transporting them before you buy them. But this stuff here will actually condition them. You can use dish soap, and that's particularly good for getting oily products like solvent-based products like even white spirit can be really good at that. And just normal hand moisturizer without all the additives in it. So if you just get like a simple emollient cream, like in the UK, what's it called? DB something. Very, very simple moisturizers that don't have chemicals in them. Dipra base, there you go, that's the one. Can be very, very good at just keeping the bristles of your brush nice and supple. So it's just about having a decent regimen really in terms of cleaning, and that should hopefully get rid of any gunk build-up in the ferrules, which will push your bristles out. If they're starting to curl on the ends, a good thorough clean, leaving them overnight with repair gel in them, can help keep them to form the actual shape. And then just better practices, so you're not like stabbing or whatever, which could be causing that damage. Other than that, maybe something's biting them. Yeah. Oh, that's a good cup of tea. That brush cleaner is gold. Yeah, it costs the same roughly as anything in one of these size bottles, and it's going to last me for years. Look at that, it's an insane amount of stuff. It's really, really good. So be liberal with it, basically. Really, really good stuff. It cleans all water-based paints, solvent-based stuff, oil-based stuff. It's really, really good. Okay, back into the sights. There's like a little recess that runs all the way around the base of this, and that's where I'm trying to get the silver into, and that recess being hidden under the back of the scope there on a curve is quite deep, so it's quite tricky to get the paint into without getting paint over everything else. Oh. Jeff says that he's a bit rough with brushes. It's a terrain thing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't buy Jeff expensive brushes, please. Seen what he does to them, it makes you cry. If I spend on average £15 per brush, how much would £15? How many brushes would £15 buy you? If I give you £15 to go and source brushes, how many brushes would you get for 15 quid? Got a little bit of silver there, look. Can you see that right on the corner? Just there. Why is that there? When did I put that down? Not what I wanted. Also got to paint the lens on the front of this thing here as well, haven't I, really? Just realised that now, so I need to get something in there as well. Okay, almost done on this sort of project to tidy up the silver. Still got a couple of bits to go. Some pretty tricky bits to go. Terrain does a number on mine too. I just made a new terrain brush out of an old favourite today. Felt wrong smashing it against my bases with rust paint. Yeah, plastering glue. Yeah, all of these things will damage your brushes irreparably. And if you're changing your old brushes, your favourite brushes into new terrain brushes, it will feel awful. Don't do it. Like a little Viking funeral for them. Send them off in fire and water. Just making sure that the silver that's already on there has got a good enough coverage to it. It can be quite tricky sometimes to see if it's, you know, opaque enough. Sometimes you'll hold it at an angle and be like, oh, I can see right through that, and then it changes angle slightly in the light and it looks like it's completely covered. So it's always worth checking, I think. Metallics just behave weird. Any more comments going in? Paint, plaster and glue, that's also the Easy 8 band name. What sort of music would we play? Got a little something stuck in there. What's that little bit of peeled paint? A little bit of peeled paint. Just going to leave it then. Adrian's got to go. Sorry chaps, got to push off now. My eyes are doing me dirty tonight, just not focusing. Side effects injections to stop macular degeneration. Time for me to sleep and read. That is a word soup, and I hope that you are okay. Please look after yourself, be well, be healthy, go get your rest, mate. See you soon. You don't have to hang out here. It's just a club. It's just fine. You go. See you later, mate. Paint is drying very fast today. Didn't feel warm in here earlier, but it's starting to now. It must be affecting the paint. So I'm going to have to make myself a little bit more. I only got a few more things to do on here in terms of the silver. It's literally on the barrel end here now. Oops, squeezed that a bit too hard. I got all the paint. Not going to bother with retarded medium. It does add a gel sort of quality to your paint. Actually, I want it to run a bit freer. So just 2 drops of flow improver now. Getting to the point where I'm going to have to buy some more flow improver. A dollop of water, but not too much, because I want it to run quite freely. I don't want it to have a runaway effect like an ink or anything like that at all, like a stain wash. But I do want it to run a bit freer, so when I dab the bristles down on the object to paint, it sort of flows a little bit easier. I can control it if it's not too runny, and it acts a little bit like a wash or a stain. It allows me to kind of get recesses painted well. Happy with everything else all the way around, really. That's all looking very good. So it is just the barrel now, I think, unless I've missed anything else. let's start in here. It's tricky. Okay, one side done. That looks pretty good. Just making sure that it looks good all the way around. Okay, I am going to chop this out in a minute, but I want to do the gold on there first, I think, and I might even, still while I've got this little handle, is I'm going to probably paint the purity seal, at least in its base layers first, just because having that little stick sticking out is a nice little handle I don't rub all these little bits off on. So let's get some gold paint as well. I was using glorious gold for this. Just the dollop on the side of the palette there. I'm not going to go crazy with flow improve or anything, just going to get a little bit of water in the bristles. Somehow I've managed to get gold paint on my fingertips. Metallics, man, they just creep. I'm going to get that all over the rest of the gun now, aren't I? Okay, I think I am paint free. Also, having this stick here, it means that I can brace my hand against it and it becomes a steady brace to really steady my shaky hands down. happy with the top surface. Now I've got to do the edges. My concentration voice. Whew. Hive mind, where could I acquire some 15mm truck wheels? Says Stafford. Shiv says from a very, very small quick fit, or maybe Etsy. Yeah, I'd be having a look around all of those sort of 3D printing sites, Cults 3D, Shapeways, Thingiverse, anything like that. Probably be very useful to you. Or Kez, as Kez has got a 3D printer and might be able to print you some of those things. She has in the past helped other people out in this group, so perhaps, I don't know, discuss. This is a very weird thing. As I'm moving it around, I look from one angle and it looks like it's got gold on it. Move to the other angle, it looks like it's not been touched with paint at all. on the edges that I'm painting here. And I'm wondering if that's just like impurities or inconsistencies in the surface that basically create an optical illusion. You know, like when you see those like holograms or bookmarks where you turn it one way, it's got one picture, turn it the other way, it's got a different picture in it. I wonder if it's something like that. And what I'm trying to do now is just make sure that I view it from one side, it's got paint on it, you view it at a different angle, and you can still see that paint. And if not, then I go back in and hit the same area but at a different angle. If that makes sense. I'm probably going to hide a lot of it with a wash in a little while, but that's not the point. Happy. That looks good. And now, because I've been using a lot of different metallic paints in there, take a leaf from my own book, and I'm just gonna give the brush a bit of a wash out. Now I'm rinsing the brush out all the time in water, probably not as much as I should be this evening, but I'm not always doing it with cleaner. As I'm painting, dipping it in paint, putting some on. Every time I should be going back to the paint, I should be cleaning it off, drying my brush out, getting a bit of fresh paint out, and that just stops the paint drying in the bristles so easily and building up. But I've been using a lot of metallic paints, and they behave differently. They're chunkier. I think they're more aggressive on surfaces and bristles and things. So I always like to give it a bit more thorough cleaning at that point. We are rapidly coming up for a break, so before then, what I want to do, where is my bone colour? I have a habit of moving things around on my desk and then not tidying up the desk properly, and then going like, where is the colour that I'm supposed to be using? Where is my Screaming Skull? It is clearly not in the location that I left it, or should have left it. No, seriously though, where is it? I'm not going to look, and now I'm going to come back. Yeah, it's not there. I don't like that. Haha, is that it? Found it. Whew. Tough. Here's another thing, Kez. Don't mix your paints with your expensive brushes. Always have a rubbish brush. Yeah, this is a gnarly, nasty brush that I keep clean. I do clean it out regularly. At the end of every night, I give it a really thorough clean. I use it for mixing in the hopper of my airbrush. I use it for taking paint out of pots, like Citadel pots like this one. I then put that in the palette, and then I add all my mediums and water and things like that. Don't do it with your expensive brushes. Even if you're doing it in a way that can maintain them, just don't do it. Have a crappy brush. Right. I'm going to use my 0. Tiny bit of water in the bristles, just a little bit. Keep that paint nice and movable. Now, the last time I painted this, I actually used a mixture of Screaming Skull from Citadel and the model colour Iraqi Sand, and it made quite a nice parchment colour. But just to kind of cover up this red, I'm just going to go in with some neat Screaming Skull, because it's just got a really good pigmentation, but it doesn't compromise on its colour. Like its saturation is really quite strong for a white colour. White is naff, but off-whites are really good. It just allows me to go over bolder colours. To which then I can use as a base, and then put other colours on over the top. Not too worried about the way that it covers right now. Just trying to make sure that I get a smooth layer on there. Keeping that paint moist with water is the way to do it. Nice and thin, not too many brush strokes if possible. Trickiest bit coming up, I think, is getting in this recess in here where the purity seal is. Definitely a job for the little micro brush. That's come out rather well, like that. It does need another coat on the back. Just get the last little bit of what's in my brush out. I've got to get it into that little recess area in there. See that? Yeah, I don't like that, but yeah, should be achievable in a minute. I'm going to make the rosette on here quite a bit brighter than the rest of it, so I've got to mix up a red that will stand out, hopefully quite cherry-like against the dark crimson background of it. So you've got two reds that kind of clash but stand out from each other. Some more comments going in. You need to ask someone with a 3D printer, says Jeff. Hey Kez, are you able to print some 50mm truck wheels for me, please? If you could find what you want on Colts, yeah, sure, love that. Hi John from Out This World Models and Minis, nice to see you again, mate. We haven't connected for a while, have we? I have been keeping up with your stuff on YouTube. I'm loving the new dinosaur, by the way. You know me, I love a dino. If anyone's interested, you should go and check out This World Models and Minis. There is a link in the description of this video, but do it later because you're here with me. Share the love. Be nice. I'm going to disappear for a quick break. I'm going to go and get myself a grown-up juice, going to down this tea, and I will be back in about 10 minutes. Whatever you do, don't have this. Go and change your paint water. I'll see you in a minute. Bye-bye. Welcome back. Hope you had a good break. I went and got myself a grown-up juice. I see that someone else has done it as well. Christina says, my grown-up juice for today is Riser Grape Kool-Aid. I don't know what Riser is, but Grape Kool-Aid? Really? Is that your grown-up juice? It doesn't sound very grown-up to me. Mine is Liquor 43, which when you taste it, definitely is on the edge of not being grown-up. It's the sweetest liquor I've ever drank. It's only 30%, but it makes your teeth go all fuzzy straight away, and it makes your face do this when you drink it. But it's delicious, and I can't stop. Happy weekend, everybody. Cheers. Hope you guys are having a good evening, a good weekend so far. Stafford is saying that for 80,000 Easy 8 points, a completely fictional point, by the way, you get a beer. And as I've only given out 1 point in 5 years, I think it's unlikely that you're going to get that beer, mate. For rum, just 6 points. Energy drink, ooh, Liquor 43, little beers. Yeah, it's supposed to have it with lemonade. I've never had it with lemonade. I had it with cola. It's not the same. I just don't have any lemonade. I just drink it neat. It's rough. It's rough stuff. It's really tasty. It's so harsh, but so sweet at the same time. It's such an ambivalent alcohol. Anyway, look guys, I hope you're having a wonderful evening so far. I hope you're getting loads of painting done. If you like what we do or here on Easy 8, please do subscribe to the show. Find a friend, bring them along. Get your friends with their kids to come along. Have a little Easy 8 party in your house. How lovely would that be? Bring them all along. It's a safe space. They don't have to have grown-up juice. Drink responsibly. It's making me mouth water. Oh, God, it's hard. If you are working on something this evening, I would love to know about it. Come and tell me all about it. Check it over here in the live chat, or talk about it later on in the comment section. Post the video, like John probably will. Hi John. John did say that he's at work at the moment. It's probably on a break. He's going to watch it back on the replay. Thanks, mate. I really miss you. I hope you're doing well. I hope life is going well. I hope the work's going well. I hope that all your painting's going well. It looks like it certainly is. It's just nice to see your face again there in the live chat. And if you like what we do, of course, you can go around to any of the other platforms that we operate on as well. So we're not just here on YouTube, we're on Facebook or on Instagram, and you can join me and some of the other people as well in the live chat at the Discord Easy 8 After Party. Oh, that was, for some reason, I was speeding up and I just didn't know how to say the words. But come along to the Discord show at the end and talk to me and stuff. If you want, put pictures up. I'd love to see pictures of your stuff. It's a club. Share your stuff. And subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button as well, actually. Do you know what? I'll give you a second. Can you go and do that for me? I mean, you'd make my day. Honestly, please. It's such a strong alcohol. Anyway, do you know what? Enough yabbering. Let's get on. So, God, it's such a strong alcohol. I did the difficult thing. Yeah, on the back, I got that paint into that little recess. See that? Cool. Been all the way around it now, neatened it all up with a fairly opaque layer. I could do one more to make it more opaque, but I don't really want that colour in the end of it. I'm going to mix that colour in with this colour, somewhere in the middle, and then I'm going to put a stain of probably Agrax over the top of that. I'm going to put a little bit of Agrax on the gold as well, just to sort of, you know, shade it down a little bit, and I might highlight it back up again. But I do want the recesses and things with that Agrax on there. The silicone and grey wash all over the silver, maybe on the red. We'll see what it looks like, because I just don't know right now. Trying to not create too much work for myself. Got hiccups now, I've been drinking. A lens in there, which will probably go like dark blue, maybe dark green, but I've got a lot of green, so I want things to stand out a little bit. Red and blue, they work well together, right? And then some text on here whilst painting the ribbon. Snip this out. That'll be harder than I want it to be, because it's actually stuck to the side of the barrel mostly on the way in. Or is it? Is it still? It's peeled away a little bit. I drilled a hole into it and then super glued it in there. So it might be tricky to get out. I might have to drill it out, cut it down as far as I can, and then drill the rest out. But yeah, we're getting somewhere, right? Okie dokie. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of white paint on this red, because I want the white to show through under a layer of bright red. The red that I've got, bloody red. I very rarely use this, but you can see it's quite red, isn't it? I'm just going to put a thin layer of this on. Just want a little bit of vibrancy to show through. Oh, I'm using ink rather than paint because the white paint that I've got is just not very good. There we go. It's very thick, even for an airbrush paint. Even if you water it down, it has texture to it. I don't like it at all. There we go. I'm going to use my zero brush. Guess it's a little bit bigger than my tiny brush, but it's not enormous. This ink is really quite runny. Not watery runny, but very close to it. And really easy to move around. It's really easy to keep it thin. But it's an opaque ink, means it's got really good coverage. And in fact, I'm considering using it as a replacement for Screaming Skull. I like the colour of Screaming Skull, but I do use it as a light undercoat more than anything else. I add a little bit of water to this ink just because it's starting to build up a little bit. I've got a fan on underneath the desk now, pointed right against my legs and my groin. It's lovely. It's quite warm in here now and all the paints are drying very rapidly. Don't care about a total coverage. I just wanted it to stand out a little bit, you know, when I put that brighter red down. Excellent. Okay, some Agrax, please. Sepia. Agrax. There it is. Earthshade. A bit of a shake. I like Agrax. Good colour. I'm going to put this on the gold and just see what it does. I'm going to be light with it. I'm going to use my tiny brush. It's because I don't want to have so much on the brush, which a slightly larger belly of bristle will carry quite a bit, and it might run away from me a little. You'll see that I can carry quite a bead on the end of this, even this tiny brush here. Got a little bit of gold on the red. I'm hoping that a bit of Agrax will just hide all my sins of inaccuracy. Not done a very good job of it, to be fair. Probably have to come with a little bit of red later on and neaten it all up. Adds just a little bit of depth to it, doesn't it? I can come with a little bit of gold later on and just literally lift those edges out a little. Excellent. Is that white dried yet? Almost. Okay, let's mix up a colour for the parchment. I've got a little bit of white ink in with my Screaming Skull there, so I'm going to choose a different area in the palette. Let's go into this one. Take out a big old scoop of that. Get that in there. Get a bit of this Raki sand. Bit of a shake. It's kind of a yellowy antique white. It's quite a nice colour actually. I can't remember what ratio I mixed the two together last time. I'm just going to put them together and just see what happens basically. I already like what I've got in there. It's quite nice. Going to put a little bit of flow improver in it because it's a bit thick, that one. It's a bit on the stodgy side. Go. Back to the zero brush. Again, just dip it in some clean water. Say clean, it was clean during the intermission. It is now yellowy parchment water. Quite a cream colour that I've made here. To the back side. Giggity. And there's a nice parchment colour, which when stained with Agrax will look quite nice, I hope. Just a little bit different than the regular Screaming Skull bony sort of colour. This is kind of a dark ivory really. Very nice cream colour. Almost matches this. Cool, I like. Right, let's think about a colour on that lens. I've got two lenses that I could paint here really. So I will paint them both the same colour, I think. I don't know what colour to do. I'm just going to do it green. I'm not going to faff around with it too much. Tiny brush. Don't want to go too far with anything on there. Don't want to be too distracting. I might do some like reflection style paint jobs in it at the end. I'll see how I feel when I get there. Just wanted something that, you know, looked like that it was a lens basically. I am painting over silver in there, so it's definitely going to need a second coat. I wonder if I'll get any sort of like second-hand effects from it being silver. Will it make it look kind of cool and reflected? Or is it just going to look a little bit rubbish? I will almost certainly put a gloss varnish on it at the end, just to make it look glassy. You can see that while the paint is wet, it does look kind of shiny. Yeah, I think a gloss paint in there would be kind of cool. I could try and paint like a little crosshair in it, but I'll see how I feel when I get to the end of the project. I might just want to be done by that point. Time for a bit of red now to go in there, I think. Yeah. I'm going to dull this red right down when it goes on, but I just want there to be a very different hue. Ooh, that is got silver in it. Let's not go there. Let's go here. To be honest, I should have used that red, but never mind. Let's see what happens when I use this one. Very different colour red, isn't it? Just realised I put my finger in some silver paint, probably on the palette. Just having a quick quality check to make sure I haven't transferred that anywhere else. It's quite peculiar seeing a purity seal done in this vibrant red. Normally I do it the dark red that the rest of the bolt has been painted in. So it looks quite rubbishy at the moment, but I know that when it dries I'll put a shade over it and it will look much better. That's pretty cool though. I'm gonna go and make some Basilicanum Grey for all the silver work on there at the moment. I want everything else to sort of dry so I can kind of crack on with that right now. And then yeah, I'm gonna need to do a little bit of red tidying, a bit of gold and silver all over the place where I've been making errors. But yeah, I want everything else to dry so I can go do the grey colour now, get that silver sort of blocked in with that, and then I can come back to this purity seal here. Right, Basilicanum Grey, where have you gone? That's non-oil, I don't want that. That's an old, a new pot of Basilicanum Grey. Oh my goodness. There it is, right there. Crumb says, one yellow, one green, just to mess with people's OCD. What? What should be different colours? One green... Oh, you mean like the sights, the lenses? Is that what you're talking about? If it's going to mess with anyone's OCD, it's going to mess with mine. I don't even have OCD, but I do have a penchant for wanting things to be not difficult. So it would wind me up more than anybody else, I think. Okay. Couple of scoops of Basilicanum Grey. And a couple of dollops of water to really tone it down. Back to the zero brush. I will start on the magazine because it's nice and blocky to start with. Not going crazy, just adding a little bit of depth to the colour that already exists on there, and also trying to shade the recesses just to bring a little bit of contrast to the whole thing. Desperately trying to avoid any sort of pooling. Just want a little bit of tonal variation, really. Look at me using big boy words. Like that is far too much for that whole area there. Try and pick that up. Move it around a little bit. Too much, too much. That's better. Just trying to really keep it real light. This area here, too much built up already. So making sure that they get, a small amount gets put on, so there is some background to it, and then really just trying to spread it out, because that there looks cheap and naff. Put a little bit down, adds so much more depth to it, but we don't want big pools. We also don't want to be putting too many brush strokes into it. Even 50-50 water contrast paints will start to form a layer, a skin, and too much brush stroke will tear it, drag it, and make it look awful. And frankly, that is the hardest thing about this little technique, is just making sure that you get a decent layer on there, move it around a little bit without adding too many brush strokes in. And a wet brush is extremely handy for it. It works. It's not so easy to use if you've got a dry brush, so you do have to have a certain amount of moisture in the bristles of your brush, otherwise you're just dragging paint around, making some horrible little patterns. That's looking alright, that is. I like that. You can tell the difference already from here to here. This is a win in my book. Happy. Gonna need to make more of it up in a minute though. Doesn't go very far over a large surface like on this model. Big smear of it on the red. Quickly clean the brush out. Go in and just pick that up. There we go. It's better. You can see where I've got little dashes of metallic paint everywhere. Gonna sort that out in a bit. I've only got a little bit left in the palette, so I'm just gonna choose an area where I don't have to worry about it in a minute. Running out and then having like a second fresh layer on top. Really trying to get the pool in between the two colours of red and silver. Makes like a little outline, but it's so low contrast because it's not black, it doesn't stand out like a comic book. Like, I think the term is open cell. I think that is the style of comic book painting. You've probably seen it. It's very clever, but it's the wrong aesthetic for this, really. Okay, need to make up probably another batch of that again. Same quantity, probably. Stay there, please, brushes. Stop running away. There we go. Lenses. Yeah, sorry. I've not been looking at the live chat so much this evening. Lenses. Yeah, you're looking at lenses. Yeah, if I did 2 different colours, it would drive me through the wall. So I will avoid that, though humorous it would be. Christula says, Danny, I finally posted you a picture of one of my Necromunda in progress pictures on the Discord. Cool, man. Thank you very much. You don't often post stuff up, so it'd be really nice to see your progress. Thanks for doing that. I always like to see what everybody else does. I know that you could just think that I'm saying that to, promote my crappy little YouTube show, but no, the reason that I do this is for me as well as you guys. I do get inspired by the stuff that you guys paint, and I love seeing the stuff just be done. As wargamers, modelers, hobbyists, whatever, you just end up with hordes of stuff unpainted, and it can be really hard to find the time to spend doing your hobby, and it's really important to try to find that time. So that's what the show is all about. It's as much for me as it is for you guys. And if I wasn't doing the show on a Friday evening, I would try to do as much hobby time as possible. But you'd start having excuses, wouldn't you, week on week? I've just got to go do the thing this week, so it doesn't matter. I don't have that time commitment. I don't have to. I'm not doing a show, so I'll just forget about it next week as well. Oh, do you know what? I haven't done it for a little while. It'll be okay. Before you know it, you're not connecting with your hobby anymore, and it's really important to have a hobby. In this world of mental health awareness, etc., it's really important. And I know that the whole wargaming hobby has a certain nerdy label to it, and my response to that is good. To be a nerd, to quote Simon Pegg, or to be a geek or a nerd, is to just display a love, a passion for a thing that takes your interest, and it shouldn't be something that we are nervous to talk about or display or demonstrate in any way. So yeah, I do get a bit of stick sometimes from some people around me. My partner, not so much the stick, but she doesn't get it. She lets me have the time, which is great. Thank you so much. But when people don't get it or share in that hobby with you, people question it and mock it. So it's easy to not create that space for the thing that you like to do. This is that safe space. Do you know what? Funnily enough, one of the people that risked a lot coming out about being a wargaming enthusiast, Henry Cavill. I've got a lot of respect for him, a lot of time for him, because he's a high-profile star, celebrity, who, images means a lot, doesn't it? And it's by coming out and saying I'll play Warhammer, I know that would have taken a lot. I spat then. If you saw that, I'm so sorry. That would have taken a lot of courage. Something so simple. But if you're into football, I bet you don't have a problem with saying you're into football. If you're into crochet or knitting or needlecraft, I bet you just say I'm into knitting or sewing or whatever. There's no one that stands publicly, points at you and goes, ha, nerd. What is it about war games and model making and model train sets and stuff that kind of has that? Do you know what I mean? A friend of mine recently put on their Instagram account them having a mental health break by just going away from all their friends and stuff around them, sitting out underneath the flight path of the nearest airport, sat there with a bowl of ramen on their lap on the bonnet of their car, and just watched airplanes for an hour. Where's the person going, ha, nerd, to them? So yeah, this is a safe space for all of you. And I do not tolerate that sort of behaviour on this show, by the way. So yeah, bring your friends, bring your kids, whatever. It's important to have it. You do you. Get your stuff painted. Play games, make visceral sound effects when you're doing it, be a child, have fun. Look at the difference for all this metalwork now. It's really toned down the glitteriness of the metal. Compare it to the site which hasn't been done. It's good, isn't it? I did find the time. Fridays, says Christelis. Thanks, mate. Love you, man. Washed silver always looks so good. Yeah, I agree. And it took me a little while to realise that black wasn't the colour to do it with. I mean, black certainly does give it a better effect for sure. But when I realised that actually grey, a dark grey, is the way forwards, oh, my life changed so much. It really added such depth to my Adeptus Mechanicus miniatures. Little steampunk Martians, I absolutely love them. Black lends too much contrast, and of course it's all subjective, it's all personal. If you like a non-oil black wash or a pink wash or whatever, because that's what you like, you do it. It's just a colour, man. But for me, I think that this makes the metally stuff look very good, quite realistic, as far as an unrealistic feature goes. You know what I mean. But non-oil can give things like quite an industrial look, but so can Agrax. Agrax Earthshade can make metal look worn and tarnished, and dirty and greasy and oily. Just about how you apply it, I suppose, isn't it, really? Bit patchy down there at that attachment point. Not happy with that, really. That's better. Starting to get some tearing in the paint there, so I'm going to start leaving that alone. Last little bit is just on the butt of the handle here. So just going to try and, because I've only got a little bit of paint left, so I don't want to make it any more. Just going to try and get a big swathe of wet paint on there. I mean wet by water, just so I can move it around a bit. It looks to me like Basilicanum Grey is a very watery version of Corax Black, which is the grey that is used on the handle there. So I think that should make these colours blend away quite nicely. I like this. Now I could go in a bit of non-oil and just kind of pick out the surrounding edges, but I quite like that overall effect there. That is very good. Excellent. Right, I want some tonal variation in here, in that red. You know what, I'm going to stick a little bit of Basilicanum Grey in there and just see what happens. Very watered down. Oh, look at all that detail coming out. Lush. Too watery, really. Maybe I'll go in with a bit of Agrax Earthshade. Dry brush, pick all that out. Agrax, here it is. Shiv says, bring your wife, bring your girlfriend, make sure they don't meet or do. I don't know your life. Have you ever thought about being a counsellor? Okay, a watered down Agrax Earthshade now. Really just trying to, again, add some contrast and some sort of textual variation in this very plain ivory sort of colour. I like a little bit of pooling sometimes, but not too much. I really like it when it sits in the creases here. That's looking pretty cool. You like the ruffles, if you like, of the parchment up there. But otherwise I do want it to be fairly clear because I'm going to put some text over it in a bit. That's going to be a tough little job for later on. I was hoping to be able to do it on today's show, but it has taken me a little bit longer than I anticipated. But like I said, I'm not planning on coming back to this next week. But I will take photos and put it all up on my social media. So be sure to follow me at Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Come and join me at the end of the show tonight for a chat on video on Discord if you want to at the Easy 8 after party. Be there or don't, I suppose. That's a very nice effect there already, I like that. I do like it to outline the colours. Nice and softly though, not too much. Basically creating a border between the red and the ivory colour that I've made. I will come in with some ever so slight edge highlights on there again just to create a little bit of variation, but I like that. Like the brown on that red as well. Shows up the details a little bit in there, doesn't it? Happy, happy. I'm not going to do much on the whole silver highlighting. I just quite like it being a dull thing. It's mechanical. It's just there against all the colour of the rest of the Space Marine. Wanted the silver wings on his chest to be quite bright, so they have got that that highlight. I'm going to put some gloss varnish on the parchment when it's all dry, and that will allow me to get some black. I'm going to use black ink, or rather black oil paint, watered down quite a bit so that I can do pretend writing. The reason that I'm going to use solvent based paint rather than acrylic based paint is that if I make a mistake it's really easy to clean up. It took me a long time to work out that I should be doing that really, because acrylic paint is just very unforgiving. If you make that mistake, it dries, especially in this room. It's very warm at the moment. It will dry instantly, and if I try to remove it, I'm just going to be making a big old mess basically. Comments going in. I was a counsellor for a weekend, says Shiv. Okay. The newspapers caught it lemming Sunday. Crumb says, and the guy who phoned for the cricket scores, yeah, he was a wrong number, but they still counted him. Oh dear, there goes the community, brilliant. Cool. I think I'm at a point really where I should be thinking about finishing I'm super happy with everything about this model. I genuinely can't complain about it. I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I've kept it simple and had a lot of fun doing it, and that's really important. So I've not overcomplicated it. There was a couple of complicated things on here. This little bit here was a little bit out of my comfort zone. It took me a little while to get the nuts to do this properly. I still got to get that number 3 on there. Those eyes, I mean, they look better on the camera, but those eyes are incredible, and I am really, really chuffed with them. And I just generally like the green, the way it's all rendered. It's just cool, man, and I'm very, very happy with it. At the end of the show, I'm going to go over the Discord. I'm going to try and neaten up those little patches on the elbows here and here. That's basically my aim for the evening. And then hopefully over the next couple of days, I'll have this whole bad boy finished. I'm going to get that decal. I'm not going to hand paint that number. It's too complicated for my ability. And then when he is completed, I'll take photos of him and I'll put it... alcohol's making me hiccup. I'll put it all over the social media so that you guys can see it. If you have been working on something this evening, come and tell me all about it. I would genuinely love to know. Do you know what? I'm going to come away from here now. Yeah, tell me all about it. If you've been working on something, please take photos, stick it up on Facebook, put them over on Discord as well. We've got people that go to both locations. We've got people that just hang out in Facebook or just hang out in Discord. So it's great to have your photos, if you're so inclined, to put them up on both places so that everyone can see them. And I am genuinely motivated and inspired by the work that you guys do. So keep it up, keep on painting, right? That's the whole point of everything. Have you ever done a Macfarlane Space Marine or a Macfarlane action figure of any kind? Have you done one specifically from Warhammer? Have you done other things as well? Have you painted things that aren't miniatures but done like as a different type of miniature project? I'm genuinely interested in this. This is the first time I've done something like this. I do have a Necron flayed one, which I'm going to come to much later on. I'm not going to do that like anytime soon. In the next couple of shows, I will hopefully have the majority of this 3D printed Ed 209. I've spoken about it in the past and I've shown him off a little bit. I've got a lot of construction work to do on him, but there is stuff that I could get painted, started on, etc. There's a lot of work to do on it. It's a beautiful model, beautifully sculpted and cast. There's just a couple of little imperfections on them that stand out as glaring issues, and it's going to take a lot of effort to correct them, basically. But otherwise, I'm really excited. Ed 209 RoboCop is one of my favourite movies of all time, and Ed 209 is just such an iconic and it is the robot, right? It is the robot of popular media, and I want to do him up in this beautiful little model. So that's what I'm hoping to get to from next week. I've got projects backing up all over the place, but that one I've been looking at since Christmas or my birthday for 6 maybe plus months, and I'm really excited to get some paint on him because it's such a beautiful model. But I'll talk more about it over on Discord if you are interested in that. And hopefully get it onto it next week. Anyway, if you've had a good evening this week, please don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already, get a friend to come along. Let's get the community to grow. We were sat at 240 subscribers, a phenomenal number on its own, but let's make it bigger. So bring some people along, spread the word of Easy 8, because you never know, the person sitting across from you at work might really be interested in this stuff and you just don't know about it. The whole point of the show is to connect, so go out there and find some people. But you know, don't put yourself out. You do you. This is your show, not theirs. Contradictory nature of mine. Anyway, I'm going to stop blathering because what an idiot I sound like. I've had a cracking evening. Thank you so much for your company. I'll see you next week, hopefully, all being well. If you're taking photos, stick them up on Facebook, put them up on Discord. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And until next week, keep on painting, get some colour on your grey, and I will see you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. You are welcome. You know, for a long time, I've actually considered having an auto cue, like a little teleprompter or something, just so that I don't sound like a complete buffoon all the time. I am such an amateur.